remember I have recollections of those things also in our practice. Before we had electronic records and things like that, I had a really militant office manager. She'd go to their website. I discovered these things. There's a website that has PCP acknowledgement. They print out the PCP and it says it's valid. We had thousands of pieces of paper held onto. So when they took it back, we went back to that date and showed it. But you look, your paper says it was okay. We often won with that, but it was a lot of hacks. It was crazy.
It's a lot of work. And
It
I
was.
think we survived as long as we did because we had in-house billing.
Yes.
So my office manager did all the billing. By the end, she was not billing it. She was not a manager anymore, really. She was mostly billing, and I was the manager in addition to practicing. I had to take over HR. I managed all the IT stuff. I worked with the meaningful use folks. That stuff because she was stuck in her room billing.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah.
We've heard from other practices in the Chicago suburbs of how difficult the Blue Cross Blue Shield MCO Medicaid line is. They will acknowledge that they received a claim and then they won't send the payment.
It's not just them. I don't want to target them for this conversation. It's all of them. They take turns. They take turns shafting us. And it's funny because I'm on a WhatsApp group of all the Medicaid providers. I think there's 50 or 60 of us on this group. And it's fairly regular. People saying, is such and such paying you? Oh no, they stopped paying. Oh, you have to do this. Oh, why won't they reimburse for that? Like they're not paying these claims. It's pretty common. And the other thing I wanted to point out was payment in general, tuberculosis, the PPD screening, the needles, that whole process, right? That payment has been the same since I want to say 84 for the procedure. Yes. So you're buying all the supplies to do the PPD, to place it, and they're paying you the same thing that they paid you in 1984. And I think a year or two ago, they finally went up from, I want to say it was $12 or $8, and they went up to 16. And people were rejoicing. And I was like, wow. I think we can do better. I think we deserve better.
The truth of the matter is the TB test, the PPD, that thing is not that expensive. Oh, they went up to make smoke and mirrors because everybody was ordering a TB Gold test, which is probably really expensive.
But it takes time.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
If it takes 10 minutes of your medical assistance time,
yes,
that's $5 to the practice before you buy the needle, before you buy the syringe, and they have to come back in 3 days, and then someone's got to look at it again.
Correct.
So it takes, and there's got to be a room where you do it, and somebody has to schedule it. Even if it just takes 20 minutes of your staff at $20, that's $5 to $7 employee cost.
And that's the margins. The margins we're working with are narrow, are thin. So every little bit counted. And regarding the QuantiFERON Gold, that's an expensive test.
Correct.
And you have to send, when I was first practicing, we drew blood in the practice. We did all our CBCs, all of that. We had phlebotomy services. And I can't remember when that went by the wayside, but there's no way we could have afforded the time, the supplies. It just wasn't worth it. I know a lot of practices can't, afford penicillin injections because they're very expensive. And you have to buy them. This was back in the day. You had to buy them in a pack of 6, and you wouldn't get reimbursed what you paid for the medication. And toward the end, the other procedure that we did often as part of the school physical was the otoacoustic emissions test. And a lot of practices perform that as just a screening for the hearing test that all the physicals ask for. And they stopped paying for that. And the machine itself has to be recalibrated every year. It can be expensive to repair. and they just stopped paying it. So we had to stop doing it.